Hey guys, how you doing? This is Mike Headley with the Headley Group Real Estate Show. We have a fabulous treat for you today. We have a great friend of mine as well as a very first time home buyer in 2007 by the name of LaShonda Stone-Minor. Miss LaShonda, I want you to tell the peoples about first time home buying and how that ventured into whatever you got going on now, and how that experience was with you when you would purchase your first property.
Okay, for the first time being a homeowner, it was challenging, I would say that. It was excitement because I was wanting to transition from renting to home ownership because I calculated how much money that I was spending out in renting. So it made sense to own. So I did my research and I found a first-time home owners program that I felt like I could benefit from. So I applied for that and I was ready to get the ball rolling. I was in, I was ready to say high school, but I was in college, and I started the program, and then I had an experience that I had something to alter my life where I had to take care of my sister's 2 kids. So I was at the end of the program, about to finish. I had started searching for a home, but I had to come out the program. So that was the challenging part for me because I was about done completing the program, but after that challenge came on the table, I had to come out of that. I had to come out of school. So it was like my life had kind of stopped. So I had to pick things back up. And I'll say probably about 2 years after I had to come out that program, I knew what I wanted and I was determined to get things back on track. So I called the program. Luckily, they were willing to cooperate with me. They knew the situation. So they allowed me to come back and pick up where I stopped at. So after I got back in the program, I only had to complete 2 more classes. After I completed those 2 classes, that's when I hired you.
That's a beautiful thing right there.
So I knew Mike was a real estate agent. He was my friend. He knew the situation because we're friends, so I told you about it. So when I started back, I was ready to start the search for looking for a house, and I didn't know what I was going to be faced with. The challenge was when I got back in the program, I was ready to buy a home. My loan qualified for was only for me, enough for me and my 2 kids, but I needed for myself and 4 kids because I had my sister's kids. So the program actually kind of went back in and looked at their bylaws and said, okay, we might need to change some things due to the situation. So my goal was to find a foreclosed home because I felt like I was going to get in a house and fix it up anyway because I'm a licensed interior designer. So I wanted to put my touch to whatever home that I found. And I needed to connect with the house. So we started looking for the house. I found a foreclosed house. Mike showed me several houses. Actually, I had another agent, but I couldn't connect to her, so that's when I got Mike. But we found a house, and the house that I seen, I went to the house. I instantly knew that was the house for me and the kids. So we went through the process, the whole 9 yards of, the loan approval, the inspection, all that good stuff. And we had one little stumble at the end, and I know you remember it. We had one little stumble at the end, and it was that a lien came up.
I do recall.
Yes.
But I'm going to let you tell the story.
I tell it best, right? Yeah. Exactly. So a lien came up. Mike called and told me, like, we got a problem. The house has a lien on it. And I was like, for some reason, I couldn't panic, I'll say. I wasn't worried about it. So the lien came up, and he was like, their attorneys is researching it, see what's going on. So I said, okay. So I'm a PK kid. So I instantly got off the phone with Mike, and I have some anointing praying oil that I keep on my fireplace to this day. And I went, and like I said, it was no worries for me, but I just went to the house, and we had already went through the inspection. We went through everything. It was just going to the attorney's office and getting keys. So after I heard that news, I got in a car, I got my oil, and I went over to the house. And before I even stepped a foot on the driveway. I poured the oil in my hand, and I saturated my hands with the oil, and I put my hands out first on the driveway, and I just started cleaning the house, and I put my hands down. I said, this is my house. And that's when I got out the car, and I took my hands and put my prints back and forth all the way around the house. And I said, this is mine, God. You showed it to me. I felt it. I connected with it. I just quoted all kinds of stuff walking around the perimeter of the house. And then when I got to the front door, I took the doorknob, and I just started rubbing oil all over the doorknob. Then I took off my index finger, and I put a cross on the door. I said, this is my house. I got back in the car. You called me, and you said, I need to meet you. We went and got lunch. Meet us, restaurant in Winston. So we went and got lunch, and then we ate. And I think you called me back afterwards, right? You said that the lien was paid off.
See the blessings what God do?
The lien was paid off. The system at the courthouse never updated their system. So that's why I kind of had to step in, intercede for myself, the house, and Mike, of course, because I knew for some reason I couldn't panic because I knew the situation was settled. I didn't know why, but yeah, that was my first time experience. So I got in my home, and I started from scratch. I did not take no old furniture with me from my old house. I wanted to start new. I knew what I had went to school for. I knew I wanted to put my touch on the house, so I left everything, sold everything from the old house. The only thing I brought new was for my daughter's bedroom set for my niece because I knew they were only there temporarily. So I only bought that one bedroom suit, but everything else was new. I started with the living room area first because that's where the guests would see first, and then I started with the bedroom. My bedroom was the very last house that I did. So I've been transforming my home. It seemed like every year or two I redesign it. So that I'm a licensed interior designer, so that's what we do.
Well, you know something, and I would say, boy, she touched on a lot of great things. But what I will say, and one thing I will add too, is that she did my basement in my house, interior design it, which is still fabulous. And thank you for that. I know I told you 100 times, but I do want to say, what led you? And again, I don't want to get off topic here, but what I know you went to school for it, but what gave you that extra spark to branch off doing interior designing? Because
I've always watched my mom. She's not an interior designer, but she had the gift to design, or I say to decorate, because there's a difference between decorating and designing. Mm-hmm. So I watched her as a kid growing up and watch how she would change the house based on the season, the holidays. And so the gift was always there. I just didn't know it as a child, but the seed was planted from birth, but the start came from me watching my mom do the house, and how she's over the top for holidays, especially for Christmas. It's like Tanglewood. So that's where it was there. I just didn't discover it, and I didn't know my purpose back then because I've been to school for so many different things, but I wasn't successful at what I was going to school for. So I prayed about it. And I asked God, I said, show me what I need to do. I need to know my purpose. And he just came back to me and said, it's always been there. And so that's what prompted me to go to school to take up interior design.
Say something right here. And also, I do want to say is that she has many talents, and we can't wait to bring on board the Headley Group Realty as one of the brokers real soon, because she knows everybody in the Triad area, everybody. I do want to say that if you had to give two golden nuggets to a potential buyer, they kind of scared, they nervous, and again, I know sometimes people put age limit on, oh, I can't do that. What would them two nuggets be if you had to just say, okay, listen, here it is? What would that be?
One thing I would say is to start early, because for me, had I known the knowledge and the information that I knew in my early 20s, I would have started back then versus my 30s, because you calculate the years, you'll still be young, house paid off. So that's a good thing. If you're young, I would strongly encourage you to go ahead and start while you're young, so it won't be such a hardship on you as you get older, buying old and still paying on a house when you're older. So that's one thing, start early. And I would say the next thing, what's the second good nugget? I want to do a good one. The second one would be, if you're not ready, just make sure your credit is ready in advance, because you don't want to delay the process when you're ready to purchase a house, but your delay is your credit. So always make sure that your credit is clean or in good position where you can apply for a loan and get approved. You don't want to be ready and then you have to do some work trying to get your credit in place where it needs to be to purchase a home. So
phenomenal.